allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you could please call the roll.
Do you remember?
Everyone says retired.
I can't do it, I'm sorry. Christina? Present. Trustee Berrien, absent. Mayor Yukich?
Present return.
Trustee Sweet? Present. Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Costa?
Present. Okay, with that being said, you guys okay if rather than say trustee, mayor, if they just call everyone by their first name? You all know us by now.
It's
To
my
me, it's
fault.
just a lot
I have
easier.
a long last name.
You're the one.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah, it's a long name over there, and it's like a tongue twister over there.
Well, Christina doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, then we're gonna start doing it next week.
Okay, all right, well,
All right,
I don't know. Hi.
are there any amendments to the agenda? I have one. I would like to remove
Remove for table.
table for right now. I gotta get it. I gotta get to it. Remove number, if I can see. I-2. I need some clarification on it, that's all. Do I have a motion, or does everyone agree? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then I-2 is off the agenda for right now. Any other amendments? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 9th, 2016 Village Board meeting? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Carlo. Motion, Mike. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2, is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2016 Village Board meeting?
I so move.
Do I have a second? Second. All right, Sharon and Mike. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing, the regular meeting will be in recess for the purpose of conducting a public hearing. If there is a motion to open a public hearing on the Village of Homer Glen's fiscal year 2017 budget. So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2016-2017 budget is open for comments. The public hearing is designed to allow residents to state their opinions and or concerns. It is not a question and answer session. Given that, is there anyone that wishes to comment on the village's proposed budget? Okay. Is there?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor. I was wondering, is that available on the website or something?
Yes,
The whole thing?
the whole thing.
The budget is available at the library, it's available at Village Hall, and it's also posted online on our website, the entire budget.
But it's at the Village Hall,
Yes,
It's
there's a
here,
hard
too.
copy
Here.
available.
right here. Okay. Make sure I have a copy.
Okay, Bob.
It's in there.
Okay. Is there any other questions or concerns? Okay. If there, is there a motion to close the public hearing on the Village of Homer Glen's fiscal year 2016-17 budget? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, then the hearing is adjourned. The meeting will be called back into order. We go to reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. I'll start off. Village Hall renovation updates. Troop Contracting, Inc. continues with renovation work on the new Village Hall. As you know, the village notified its landlord and property manager of its intent to terminate the lease agreement at its current location by July 31st, 2016. Troop is preparing progress reports that detail progress and photos of the work being completed. To view these reports, visit the village's website and click on Construction Updates. Then click on Village Hall Construction Updates. Homer Glen to celebrate its 15th year anniversary. As I'm sure many of you are aware, the village of Homer Glen is celebrating its 15th year of incorporation as a village. The village was officially incorporated on April 17th, 2001. As we enter our 15th year as a community, the village is planning several ways to celebrate this important milestone. Plans are in the work for a 15th anniversary volunteer picnic to take place later this summer that will recognize the countless volunteers that dedicated their time and efforts to the Homer Glen community since 2001. Throughout the year, the village is requesting that residents submit photos that capture the spirit of our community. Photos can reflect the past, present, or future of Homer Glen. Photos will be used in village publications, online and in print, advertising, and marketing materials. Photos can be submitted via email to village@homerglen.org or by mail to the Village Hall. A photo release form must be included with the submitted photos. For more information, please visit the village's website or call Village Hall. Other than that, with what they've talked about with the Village Hall right now, they are moving very quickly. All the studs are up. They're starting to drywall. A lot of the electrical has been run. They still have some wiring to go. They've closed off the doors that we're not using. They're opened up the doors that weren't there. The community and boardroom is wonderful. They put steel beams up in the ceiling, took down all the timbers that blocked the view. So now you have about 3,000 square foot that's wide open. So the community center is going to be very large. You can section it off to a smaller area, and we're excited about getting in there. With that being said, we'll go to the trustees, and we'll start down with Trustee Caprio.
I have nothing to report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Suisse?
Thank you, Mayor. The Environment Committee will be planting a tree this spring in honor of Arbor Day, which happens to be on April 29th. There will also be a prescribed burn, weather permitting, this Friday at Genghis Park near the bike trails. Excuse me. With a little more than a month away from our May 21st Earth Day Arbor Day event at Konos Farm, the entertainment program has been announced. Starting at 11, there will be Big Run Wolf Ranch at 12:30, Cold-Blooded Creatures, 2 o'clock, Monkeys and More, and 3 p.m. Northern Illinois Raptors Rehab. There are many ongoing exhibits and demonstrations throughout the day, along with craft and vendor sales and food. We would like to thank our sponsors today, which are Home Depot, Brent Marr Landscaping, Apple Chevrolet, Dan Kenny Homes, New Way Homewood Disposal, and Willowbrook Ford for their support of our Earth Day Arbor Day event. There is free admission and parking with the grain train shuttling attendees to and from the parking lot. Please join us on May 21 for a fun, educational, and entertaining time. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Suisse. Trustee Rogers?
There are a lot of events that are coming up that I just want to make the residents aware of if they're not aware of. On April 16th, the Windy City Dueling Pianos will perform at the American Legion in Lockport at 7:30. And this is to benefit fundraiser for the baseball HAC. On April 23rd, Take a Chance for Change, a bingo fundraiser will take place at the Lockport Moose Lodge beginning at 5:30. This is a fundraiser to benefit Homer Glen Junior Women's League. If you are not aware of this league, I would ask you to look it up on the internet. It's a great organization for our community. It brings women together, and they do a lot of things, great things for our community. On April 21st, the Lockport Township High School is sponsoring Road to Reality from 6 to 8 p.m. This is an important event that brings education to students about the dangers of drinking and driving. The event is open to all students ages 12 and older, and I strongly encourage you to attend and bring your students so they can see part of the demonstrations and learn a little bit more about just how terrible it is to do this. Reporting on behalf of public safety, the weather is getting warmer and we are hearing more and more about speeding, and just want to remind residents to slow down. The kids are out. Most of our communities don't have sidewalks, so they're playing in the streets, they're riding in the streets. Be vigilant about your speed. I personally have no problem when I see my neighbor speeding, going and knocking on their door and saying, you know what, you need to slow down. And I encourage people to do that. My brother does it, he lives here too, and it's just, too much can happen. And the fire department right now is promoting your addresses and making sure that your address is visible, both during the day and at night. We noticed last year when we were out campaigning and going door to door, there were so many houses that had no addresses at all, let alone weren't visible to the street. So we encourage you to just double check and make sure that your address is visible for public safety. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Rogers. Adding on to what Trustee Rogers had said, last Saturday, to show you that we do have a very bad problem with driving. There was a serious accident on 151st between Cedar and Gauger. 2 people were killed and 1 was hurt. It was an unfortunate situation, but if people would slow down and pay attention to what they're doing and drive on the right side of the street, we wouldn't have this. So I would appreciate that if you have the kids, tell them to slow down, even the adults. Trustee Costa and myself went out once with our radar gun because neighbors were complaining about the speeding. And the funny thing is, or actually the sad thing is, all the people that signed the complaint, half of them were the speeders. So you got to pay attention to what you're doing. Like Trustee Ratch just said, school's getting out. All the young kids are going to be out. And even some of the older kids, they don't pay attention. They walk in the middle of the street. We don't want any accidents happening, so please do pay attention. Trustee Costa.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Christine.
Yes, I do have a report. The Parks Committee held their March meeting on Monday, March 28th at 6:30 p.m. Just a reminder that all residents are invited to attend the Parks meetings, which are held the 4th Monday of every month at 6:30 p.m. here in the Village Boardroom. Later this evening, we will be discussing the naming of the Village Hall Park property during the workshop portion of the meeting. The Parks Committee has been discussing the naming of the park since September 2015 and has extensively reached out to the community for their input. To allow the Village Board to thoughtfully consider the naming of the Village's newest and largest piece of property, tonight's workshop is for purposes of discussion only and no motion will be made. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Okay, next, Treasurer.
I have no report this evening.
Village Board.
Just wanting to let everybody know that we are accepting applications for the vendor tent that will take place at this year's Homeless Fest. And the applications will be available online on the Village website and the Fest website. And it's $150 for a booth. So if anybody's interested in selling some products or crafts or art or clothing, have them check it out. We're still looking for sponsors as well. And that's also available on the homerfest.com website.
Thank you. Village Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report this evening.
Okay. Public safety officials.
No report, sir. No report.
Village Manager.
No report.
Okay. With that, we're going to go into public comment. If we could please keep it to 3 minutes, we would appreciate it. If it takes longer. First one would be Bob Schmidt.
I'm wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Bob Schmidt, 14339 in the public place, Homerwood. You all know that by now. I have a few things I'd like to talk about there. I'll try to do my 3 minutes, but you know me better than that. A couple of things, and this has to do with One, the article was printed about our sports program. And you discussed it at the last meeting about how we are extending ourselves. However, I have a little bit of a problem with that. If we have our boys and girls trying to play in our field, I'm wondering why we have to share those fields with someone that doesn't take a dime to support those fields. The athletic community of Homer Glen is very tunnel vision instead of expanding it to all Homer Glen boys and girls. I feel very strongly as a years ago host that I believe our boys and girls come first, not after somebody else. Now, I don't know if it's managers or whoever are in charge of those teams, they want to bring these other teams in. I think that's unfair. I really do. So my opinion would be, please, help the people who help you. Have our children, all of them, girls and boys, play here in Homer. I don't want to see Lockport. I don't want to see New Lenox. I don't want to see Mokina, and certainly not Orland Park playing with my tax dollars. Number one. Number two, we've been talking about the gas going up. I didn't talk to you about the gas. No, but it did go up. But I'm wondering whatever happened to competition in America. Now, I know you can't do anything about that, but I no sooner saw $2.29, well, $1.99, and the next 10 minutes, I drove around all the stations in Homer, and they were, what were they? Everybody know? $2.29. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one devil of an increase over 1 hour. Now, I don't know if the village can do anything about price control. Believe me, as a private business owner, I would never have said, yeah, price control. But there must be something to help our residents. Now, they're coming out with electric cars. I wonder why. Because they don't have to buy gas. Right? Okay, that'll save the environment, but do you see the price for the electric car? I know I can't afford one, and I'm very well to do. I don't need that, but anyway. But anyway, okay. Next thing. Now this is really it down and dirty. This is a question for our gentleman who handles the money. What are that?
Yep. He didn't have a report tonight, so.
Well, he didn't write one. I got a question for him.
The problem here is, and I told him to go home because the Hawks are playing tonight.
Well, yeah, they're not going to win tonight.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. Well, then,
We could do it in,
okay, will the village manager have an answer?
What's the question? What's the question?
The question is, we have a lot of money. The treasury report says we have a lot of money, right? How much money? 10 million?
No more than that.
More, oh, okay. Now, what I need to know, is it deposited in Homer Glen Bank?
yes.
Can you mention one?
Yeah,
Yes.
First Midwest.
Okay. What about the rest of them?
We deal with basically one bank. I might be wrong for, but the majority is in First Midwest.
Yeah.
Rather than spreading it all over, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with them. First Midwest is a very big bank. They're very secure. They've been good to us, so that's where it sits.
Well, the only reason I question that there is that those other banks are here and have been here a hell of a lot longer than First Midwest.
No,
So what we have done is we have said to them, we don't care about you in Homer Glen. So you can pick up your papers and leave. Well, Mayor, I'm sorry. That's not right. We've got that much money to throw around. How about support all of them? I see no reason why we narrow it down to one.
we can look into it.
And let's see, what else? One more. And this is the one here from the police department. I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago about 143rd Street at Melrose, eastbound and westbound, and the speeders. Well, I had an opportunity to observe in the last 4 days. And out of the cars that I was able to clock, 78% was going 48 miles an hour. Now, do you realize how much money that would be to the county if our guys had the manpower to enforce it? How about our school sitting there? I did that for 4 hours, all right? Average speed, 42 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, are we sick? We're letting people, and I know the mayor likes people to come through our town. Oh, God damn it. Let them come through our town and pay the fine. They want to see what's going to happen. I'm done.
All right, just in your questions. We've already been in contact with Speedway, which is Marathon Gas. We have an appointment that's set up for us to meet with them next week. We've already called them, they brought it down when we called them, and then a few days later it went back up. I called and I complained again about it because our gas was more than Orland Park's gas. And Cook County taxes are much more than what they are in Will County. So we will be sitting down with them, and whoever they bring with us from because they're telling us that the big shots are coming. So let's find out what we can do.
Can I do that?
As for the park fields, it's already been taken care of. They are not going to 75-25. And most of the sports clubs did not want it in the first place. It was a special group of people that wanted it. So that's a dead issue right now.
All right, all right. Put down, man. You're helping me.
I'm trying, Bob, I'm trying.
The damn well got it.
Other than that, everything else is, we're following up on everything that we possibly can. I understand the gas is less, because I did call them one more time. That was on Monday, because Sunday I went into Lockport and their gas was $1.75 at both stations, and ours was at $2.09. Now, how does the gas go up in Will County so much at Homer and not Lockport? So we are working on it, because if you watch, as soon as one gas station changes, all of them change. I know. And the last time we did a complaint on it, because Trustee Berrien and myself kind of went out and complained about it, but unfortunately you're talking to the managers of the store and they can't do anything about it. So we did go to corporate, because it's at the point where it is, like you said, it's ridiculous to have it jump. The first time was 49 cents it jumped. So we are looking into it.
Well, I just want you to know that there are residents in our community that observe what's going on. I'm not the only one.
No, and I'm very happy to hear that, because this is our community.
Yeah.
As for the speeding, we are working on it.
Okay.
The safety committee is working on it. They're in the process of buying speed bumps that can be changed from area to area. And
Yeah.
our lieutenant back here, he does have his guys giving tickets.
Okay.
All right, so you can only do so much. You can't watch everything. And most of the people, honestly, if you follow them, they live here in Homer Glen. So, with that being said, Kathy Sandor.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to comment on the speeding on Birchdale Drive in Pebble Creek. It's out of control. Somebody's gonna drive into my house. It's dark where they make the turn around the cul-de-sac. And I know you guys are trying to do everything you can, but they really need to do something.
We agree. We are trying, and unfortunately, like I said, I live in a subdivision where there's basically one way in and out unless you jump into the next subdivision. And I see it every day because I'm on a corner, and they're all my neighbors, and they're flying up the street. But, you know, some people just don't pay attention. And when you get someone that is going quick, they don't look down at the speedometer, they keep up with traffic.
Yeah, but a lot of them that are coming through Pebble Creek are cutting through to go into Woodbine. You know, they cut down Birchdale Drive and go to the next street and cut over. So it's not like it's my neighbors and I can go say, hey, slow down, because
Yep.
I have no idea who they are, but I know they live over there. I've seen them make the turn.
Lieutenant, could you please do me a favor and just tell your guys to...
I already spoke with Ms. Sindler and I got
He
her
did.
the information.
But
We are trying.
thank you.
You're welcome. That's it for public comment?
Mayor, let me interrupt for just one moment. I know a gentleman had walked in a little late, and I believe he wanted to speak, but he didn't have a chance to sign in.
Good evening. Sorry I was late. Had the wrong time written down. My name is Kyle Lowe. I'm the Director of Development for a nonprofit organization who is new to Homer Glen, Chicago area. We're called the Dragonfly Foundation. We provide comfort and joy to kids and young adults enduring cancer and bone marrow transplants. Our goal is to alleviate the emotional burden of cancer and dealing with pediatric cancer birth to age 30. So I wanted to take a moment tonight and just introduce myself to the trustees and let you guys know that we're here in Homer Glen in Chicago, and we'll be around, and we'd love to get involved with the town and have that support.
Thank you for
Let me speak.
Anyone have any questions for Kyle?
Could you leave some of your cards for us so we could grab them? Maybe somebody could grab some.
Definitely.
And it is definitely a wonderful thing that you are doing.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Anyone else that got here late? Okay. Public comments done. We're entering legislation and action items. First on the agenda is I need a motion to approve ordinance number 16-011, an ordinance granting approval of an amendment to a special use permit for a planned development granted by ordinance number 14-049 for certain real property commonly known as 16849 South Cedar Road, parcel 16-05-228-200-009-0000 and 16-5-28-200-011-000 Homer Glen, Illinois. Kono Farm, subject to conformance with a Kono site plan. And there's going to be an exhibit attached to it B, and there are conditions upon the following. 1, only the Tilsey Bar and tent will be used for wedding and banquet type events. 2, use of the property shall continue to be in compliance with village and state life codes, safety codes. 3, the Corn Maze and Earth Day, Arbor Day activities will be considered special events requiring approval by the village. 4, the owners shall allow access to the property by the Village of Homer Glen and Homer Township Fire Department District to inspect the property monthly to ensure compliance with a special use permit. And 5, the owner shall maintain compliance with NFPA 72 Complete Fire Detection System for the buildings known as the Tilsey Barn, the Arcade Building, the Concession Building, the In-N-Out Building, and the Animal Barn as installed.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Speaks? Aye. Trustee Christina?
Abstain.
Motion carries. You're all set, Walt. Thank you. Number 3, Lily Garden Restaurant Parking Adjustment. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 16-013, an ordinance approving a parking adjustment for a reduction of 22 required parking spaces attributable to shared parking within the Bell Plaza Shopping Center for Kiem Tiet Vo for the proposed Lily Garden Restaurant for certain real property located at 14407 South Bell Road, Homer Glen, Illinois. Kiem Tiet Vo Lily Garden Restaurant, case number HG-1607-PA. Do I have a motion?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Mayor, is the petitioner here? Or the owner of the property? Oh, okay. I just had a couple of questions, if you'd want to.
You must be George.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice to meet you, George.
Honored to meet everybody.
I just had a question. Do you have any concerns? I know Blueberry Hill has early afternoon hours where they close, which would help, in my opinion, Lily Garden, because they have more of the evening hours. Do you have any concerns about this reduction in parking space requirements? As a business owner and an owner?
No, as we did the parking study with Mr. Swartz, I noticed that I was a little bit concerned in the beginning, but once we did the parking study and looked at the Saturdays and Sundays that were involved, I was pretty confident that there will be no issue, being that the hours, the busiest hours of the restaurant are between 10 and 1. And looking at the traffic flow and looking at the in and out of the customers, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. At the time that we did the studies, I did not see any problem with parking front or back. There's a lot of parking in the back available that some of the customers do not know about, that are utilized by the employees. But I don't have a concern at all about the parking situation there in the strip center, being that I'm also the owner of the Blueberry Hill. If I saw there was an issue with another restaurant coming in, a sit-down restaurant, I would look into it thoroughly. But that parking study did do a lot to help me in regards to how the parking flow is, especially Saturdays and Sundays. Monday through Friday would not be an issue. Saturday and Sunday would only be the question. I would not want to take away from my business to promote another business, but being that I don't see a problem, I think they can coexist with no issue at all.
Because I think the petitioner at the planning commission said that he feels that maybe 40% would be carry-out, so I think that may be helpful as well.
Right. Well, I know it's limited to seating as per our discussion, so I believe that those type of restaurants do have a lot of carry-out in and out, so I feel pretty confident about the parking situation.
Thank you.
Okay,
I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you, I know that Sherwin-Williams has their own couple of spaces. Will the carryout place have a designated space?
And they haven't requested any.
Okay.
So my belief is everybody shares in the parking. Sherwin-Williams was just a different situation. We have not even put only carry parking spot for the restaurant, just to make sure that everybody shares in the parking.
Right, and I know it's hard to monitor too. Once you put the signs up, it's pretty much impossible. And I have Sherwin-Williams as a tenant myself, so I know that's a requirement that they have.
Right.
And I had big concerns when this first came to me, but I did go and do my own study, and I have zero concerns.
Right.
My only question is, what if Blueberry Hill decides to go and start serving dinner?
As far as I'm concerned, you're never gonna see that.
Yeah,
If
I
I
didn't know you were.
timed, maybe, but not as often. All my footprints of all my restaurants, all 7 Blueberry Hills, are all breakfast and lunch. In the very beginning, when I first was in the restaurant business in the 90s, I did do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's no need for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only question I had for you is, will you be putting up parking and back signs so people do know there's parking back there? 'Cause
Yes, I already
people
have
do
the
not.
signs made, and they'll be mounted to the wall.
Okay, and I don't know if it would be a good idea, but with what Trustee Rogers had just got done saying, pick up only signs, especially for something like that, because it is only a few minutes. I don't know if it wouldn't be such a bad idea, because that's when people start double parking to go in and get something running. So maybe ask them once they get the ball rolling, and see if it's something that might work pretty good for them. Other than that, I think it's a great idea.
Very good.
Anyone else?
My questions were answered.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, could you call roll, please?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Knight?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Number 4, Arbor Day proclamation. Is there a motion to approve the attached proclamation declaring April 29th, 2016 as Arbor Day in the Village of Homer Glen?
I so move.
Trustee Sweet, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Knight?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 5, is there a motion to approve a proclamation in support of Earth Day, Arbor Day on May 21st, 2016? So moved. Trustee Costa?
I'll second.
Trustee Luis? Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Knight?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Don't you agree it'd be a lot easier just to say the first name? That's probably 10 minutes that's gone by right there, reading off all these names. Number 6, is there a motion to approve an agreement with Landscape Supply, Inc. for the Spring 2016 Public Parkway Tree Planting Program in the amount of $25,279.40?
I so move.
First, Trustee Sweet.
Second.
Second, Trustee Costa. You beat you.
That's okay.
Is there any discussion?
I just have a quick question. Have the trees been ordered, and do you have a time frame for
Well-
the spring planting?
Once this is approved, yeah, they should be planted, they're hoping to plant next week.
Okay.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Knight?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7, agreement with G4S to perform utility locating services. So is there a motion to approve an agreement with G4S to perform utility locating services for the Village of Homer Glen as part of the Joint Utility Location Information for Excavators Julie program? So moved. Trustee Costa?
Second.
By Trustee Troiki. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Knight?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 8, is there a motion to approve Resolution 16-005, a resolution authorizing the release of executive session minutes? So moved. Trustee Costa?
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet? Is there any discussion?
And that was on Schedule A, Resolution 16005.
Correct. So
Okay.
there were some questions that we resolved, so anything that was already a public record is okay. We removed a couple things that needed to be held confidential.
Okay. Perfect.
You okay, Mike?
Yeah, that's my question. There were a couple of
Ones
questions.
that,
we
yeah.
reviewed them.
We reviewed them and
Perfect.
removed a couple, and the others were okay.
Sound good. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy
Aye.
There it is, I stumbled.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve resolution number 16-006, a resolution authorizing the destruction of certain executive session recordings?
I so move.
Trustee Caprio?
Second.
Trustee Costa? Is there any discussion?
Just a point of clarification, Mr. Mayor. That is resolution number 16-005 or 6. Both numbers are on this front sheet.
It is 16-006.
Sorry, my typo.
Okay, just want a point of clarification. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we're going into workshop item. The Parks and Recreation Committee recommends the following 6 names to be considered by the Village Board. Heritage Park, Homer Village Green, Homer Glen Community Park, Veterans Park, Inspiration Park, and Harmony Park. There is no motion being requested at tonight's workshop. It is for the purpose of discussion only. So it's open. And the one thing that I do like is what you had suggested.
Me?
Mike,
Oh, I was.
go ahead.
Looking through all these names, too bad we couldn't name the park all of these, because I think they're all perfect for our community. I like Veterans Park myself. Yeah, I think it holds a special part in everybody's heart here, just with everything happening, but that's just my opinion. But what I would like to see, if possible, with the rest of the names, if we can dedicate or designate certain areas of the park and incorporate all of these names, like if, for example, this is green area, this is songbird area, whatever, because these are all great names for the community, for the parks. I'd like to see, the kids in the school that came up with the names, plus our residents, somewhere in the park, I'd like to see, if it's possible, just different sections, name it a different section, and incorporate all these names in the park somehow. That's all I'd say.
That was also discussed at the Park and Rec Committee. Everybody, the consensus was the same thing. The consensus was they didn't really want it named after one person specifically, the entire park in itself. But if there was something like maybe, a bench or a garden area or a bandstand or whatever it may be named after someone or a different name, they were fine with that. I personally like something with the word green in it, only because it was a golf course at one time. It's kind of cute that there was, greens and it's village green. That was my personal opinion. Veterans Park is also a great name. I just sometimes feel like there's a lot of veterans parks.
Yeah, very good. My comment entirely.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
They're all over, they're all over, but I love her idea. Village Green.
I'm personally a fan of Harmony Park, only because Bob brings so much harmony to the board meeting.
He wanted something named after him.
Yeah, me. Moving.
I'm fine, I like Mike's idea, or the committee's idea, Mike's idea, whoever's idea it was, to name sections. I think is...
Use what we have.
Yeah, I think they're all great names. I think the kids did a great job.
And it's a big enough park that you can accomplish that. So it's, like I said, it's for discussion only, so if anyone out...
Well, you know what? Why don't you put it out to the community?
Well, that's what I just got done saying. We
Oh,
did
yeah.
put it out to the community, and they put in some suggestions too. We had the kids from the school put out suggestions.
Good, all right. Is it in the paper?
Yes.
What's in it?
It was in the newspaper, it was in the schools, it was for Homer 33C and, what was the other one?
Junior high.
Well, that's not what I meant.
I'm sorry, Homer Junior High and, what was the other one?
Prairie.
Prairie.
Yeah, no, that's not what I
It was
meant.
also on our website too. What was
That's
that?
not what I meant. It's nice that the children have something to say about it, but what about the parents? What
Yeah.
about the people who are paying the bill?
We did, we put it on the website, and we also discussed it at the board meetings, we discussed it in the parks meeting, and I believe it was in the newspaper.
I never saw it in the newspaper. I never did.
I believe it was covered by I believe it was covered in the Home Horizon under an article that just basically covered the entire meeting, and it just was like a paragraph or two about it.
Yeah, well, they didn't highlight it. And a lot of people in town don't know it. You know, and I'm going back to, you know, you people know. But there's 25,000 people out here, and with 20,000 don't know.
Well, I look at it this way too, Bob. If we had 25,000 people putting in applications, we're gonna have 24,999 people mad because their name wasn't picked. It was put out there for them to put it in, and if they still would like to put something on there, they can still come forward and give it a name. But what these 6 names are, these are from the kids of the community. These are the ones that are gonna be using it, and kind of age goes along with it. If you feel that you want to put a name in, you're more than welcome to put a name in, or if you know anyone that wants to, they're more than welcome to put a name in.
We have a young man that was raised here, died in the military. Let's name it after him.
Oliveri Freedom Park was also suggested, if that's what you're referring to.
Thank you. I mean, that, now it means something. It is here. It's in the heart.
Well, we also named part of the path, the Heroes Trail, after Mike too. So it's, you know, we're trying to cover a lot of bases.
I think also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there was some that are highlighted, some of the 6 aren't students, some of them are adults.
Right.
So, okay, any other comments? Is there any old business?
He's got his hands
No.
up.
Oh, sorry. My comment, I'm on the Parks and Rec Committee. We did have several dozen names, not only just from the students, but from the community. Christine has the list. I saw that she had up. I didn't bring mine with me. But it was from people who emailed their names in. We kind of broke it down into whatever ones we felt were the best ones to bring out to us. Just the ones that felt the most personal to us and that we felt the community would find the best. Personally, I do like the name like Christine with the green. That way we can break down into individual areas later into parks. If we have a kids park in one section, more for the senior park, and later on we can name that the Songbird Park, the Harmony Park. We can name those later on, but that's just personally how I feel about it as well.
Thanks, Bob. Any other comments? Okay, next, is there any old business? Is there any new business?
Mr. Mayor, just FYI to the board, I will more than likely not be present at the next board meeting, and the first meeting in May, I'll be out of town on vacation, just for information to the board.
Thank you, Trustee Costa. Okay, next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for purposes of discussing personnel and legal?
That's the one.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No, actually, roll call.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Gabriel?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Chase? Trustee Maxey Georgie?
Aye.
Good job.
Okay, motion carries.